Hello, what's up? Welcome. You read the title. I'm happy. I hope you're happy as well. We're finally getting nerfs for these stupid quilboars that just keep high rolling every lobby. I'm gonna go over all the nerfs, give my opinion on them, and tell you if I think they're good, bad, rate them, and think a little bit about how the meta is gonna evolve right after this. Hope you'll enjoy the insight that I'm gonna bring here, and I hope you enjoy these patch notes as much as I do. So, Barrens Blacksmith. The literal bane of my existence, the 3-5 frenzy unit on tier 3 that gives +2/+2 to all units, removed, gone, dead. Oh, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. That thing was just too toxic because it spiked super hard. It's like a better spawn. You hit this, and if it overkills, you just guarantee win the fight early on, and your opponent can take a lot of damage. So it turned fights in early game into real 50-50s, into taking a lot of damage or not, whether you found it or not. So that being removed is very, very good. Roadboar went from a 2-4 to a 1-4. So they just messed a little bit with the stats there. My pizza. My fucking pizza arrived. So I don't think this nerf is enough for Roadboar because the health is the issue. You don't care about it being 1 or 2 attack because, well, the main job of the Roadboar is to generate blood gems. It just generates blood gems early on. So I think they should have changed the health of it. It's still just as likely that this unit is going to get a blood gem as pre-nerf. Sure, you might take a little bit more damage now because the 1 attack trades really poorly, but I don't know if this is enough of a nerf to Roadboar. I think I would rather have seen the health go down. So I think Roadboar is still gonna be 4 points. I still think he is gonna be one of the better tier 2 units to hit early on. Prophet of the Boar was a 3-3 2-star unit that gave you a blood gem whenever you played a quilboar, but only once a turn. And now it is a 2-3. So again, -1 attack. I don't think Prophet of the Boar was that big of an issue. I think I'm kind of fine with it because it has no tribe. You usually get rid of it in the mid game, and you gotta roll quilboars for it to actually generate something. So I think Quilboar of the Boar, the nerf is fine. I think it was one of the least problematic units in all of quilboars, so but I guess they're doing something right. I'll still give it 3 points. It's still fine. Also, I'm kind of scared that they didn't touch the 1-star units. I think they were also a big issue. A 1-star unit that generates 2 blood gems is insanely good, and also the 3-1 is really good because the 3-1, it gives you a blood gem and it's a 3-1, so it still trades with like the 2-3 Murloc, the 2-3 Taunt. It trades pretty decent. Sure, it has 1 HP, but actually saves a lot of health very often. So I would have liked to see at least one of the two change a little bit of the 1-star units, but I guess not. Bannerboar is a 3-star 2-5 that at the end of the turn gave +1/+1 or at least 2 blood gems to adjacent quilboars. Now Bannerboar is a 1-4, so wow, we got -1 HP and -1 attack. I think this is good. Bannerboar was really strong. I think one of the better, maybe even the best tier 3 units, and it's good to see -1 on it. I think Bannerboar is still decent. If you go quilboars, you might still want to take this, but the immediate stat reduction makes it so you can't really just take this without quilboars. I used to take this even without quilboars, just buy it and then find quilboars later on, even as AFK, but now you might be punished too hard because of the 1-4 stat line. So I think this is fine. I'm still gonna give Bannerboar a 4 because I think it's still a really good unit to have early on. If you still compare to Iron Sensei, which is a 2-2 mech that gives +2/+2 to another mech, this gives +2/+2 blood gems, which has sometimes extra synergy, and it's a 1-4 and a quilboar itself. So it's still gonna be good. Bristleback Brute is also an insane card, tier 3, 3-3, that whenever you play the blood gem on it, once a turn it got another +3/+3 buffs. Now it's still a tier 3, 3-3 unit, but whenever you play a blood gem, it only gets +2/+2 extra. So instead of +4/+4 when you play a blood gem on it, it's now +3/+3 total. Yeah, I like that they nerfed it, but I think it's still pretty strong. So it's not gonna be as oppressive and broken anymore as it was. It's still gonna be strong. It's still probably gonna see play. I'm gonna give it a 3 though, because over like a couple turns, if you keep this on the board, it's gonna actually be a lot of stat reduction. Over 4 turns, it's gonna be -4 stats if you put a blood gem onto it every turn after this nerf. So I actually have a tough time imagining how good this is gonna be, because this was mainly just a stat pile that you throw in and then you get the blood gems off of it onto a more useful unit later on. So I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna say 3. Okay, it's definitely gonna be good and playable still. I just think it's not gonna be at the same level or nowhere near where it was. Groundshaker. So I underestimated this card. I thought it was gonna be dog shit, just real bad, but turns out that giving +2 attack to your entire board for 1 blood gem, even if it's for 1 turn, is really good. You could just play Groundshaker, put like 3 or 4 blood gems on it, and you're gonna be insanely strong. If you have a couple divine shields or a cleave, and you're gonna kill people, like literally murder people. Could even be a late game comp, I've seen it. So it's a tier 4, 2/6 quilboar that gives +2/+2 to your entire board if you put a blood gem on it. Now it is still a tier 4, 2/6 after blood gem is played on this, give your other minions +2 attack for next combat. So it just doesn't attack buff itself. I mean, it's not even that big of a nerf, honestly, right? Because you don't really care too much about the buff on itself. You care more about the buff on the Divine Shield units, on the cleave. You care more about the buff on your valuable units that are gonna trade better than on the stupid Groundshaker. So sure, it is a nerf, but I'm scared it's not going to be as impactful either. You will have a really bad unit on the board though, because previously the Groundshaker would have also had a lot of attack and maybe could trade, and now it probably doesn't, but I think that's not enough. I'm still going to give Groundshaker a 4. I think it's still going to see play in people that have to stabilize, stay down, or play a tempo comp, and I think it could even make it late game still. Dynamic Duo, this card was so busted. It was a tier 4, 5/6 taunt that whenever you played a blood gem on a quilboar, it also got +1/+1. So it just scaled together with your board. It became massive in like a Charlga comp. Now it is a tier 4, 3/4 after a blood gem is played. The same effect. So they just reduced the stats by -2/-2, which is a lot. -2/-2 is a rare reduction that you see. Like you rarely see nerfs like these that's massive. Is that gonna be enough? Reducing Dynamic Duo to a 3/4 from a 5/6. It's not like I used to take it as a tempo pick, Dynamic Duo. Just buy a 5/6 taunt and then maybe later on you get extra value if you find your quilboars, right? And set up your board. That's not possible anymore. I think you only take duos if you have a scalable board already. Because that was the issue. All of these quilboars had good base stats. You could just buy them and they scale off each other and they snowball. Now you need the initial setup in order for it to be worth it. Because a lot of these quilboars got just some stats reduced, but that means that you can't just buy them, be strong, and just have it snowball. You actually have to have the setup, or you have to get tempo and get strong and transition into this. So that's what I like. I think all these stats on their own might not seem significant, but put together, it just means that you can't just buy random quilboars and make them work. Dynamic Duo, I'm still gonna give it a 4. I think it is just too good, even though it's -2/-2. If it's gonna be a 60/60, you don't care about those stats, right? So I think as late game potential for Dynamic Duo is still gonna be insane, meaning you probably want this in your full quilboar board. And Bonker, arguably also one of the strongest tier 4 units now, was a 4/7 win free, tier 4. Whenever it attacked, you gained a blood gem. Is now a 3/4, so they just reduced 1 attack. Honestly, I don't think that matters. The health is more important, right? The fact that it generates blood gems is more important. So the 1 attack doesn't do shit. You don't care if your quilboar actually kills stuff. You care about it attacking and value trading. The health being the key component here. If your health doesn't, if the 7 HP doesn't like completely evaporate when it attacks into something, that was a fancy word. It means it gets to attack again and generate more blood gems. So it's still gonna generate as many blood gems as before. It's just less likely to trade with its attack. But that's such a small thing, so I'm scared. I think Bonker is still one of the best tier 4 units. If you play Reno and you find a Bonker, I would still just hear power word. I think it's still nutty. They also changed Golden Bonker apparently. Mega win free after it attacks gain a blood gem, while previously after it attacked it gained 2 blood gems. So instead of a Golden Bonker giving up to 8 blood gems sometimes, it can now only give up to 4. So that's a massive nerf, I think, to Golden Bonker. Usually you want the Golden Bonker because it just, even if it attacks once, you get 2 blood gems already. If it attacks twice, 4 blood gems. That's now halved. So there's less incentive to go for a Golden Bonker, which I'm fine with. I think that's a decent nerf. Is it going to be enough? We'll see. I'm still going to give Bonker a 5. I know, ballsy, but a 5. And they didn't nerf anything on tier 5. On tier 6, they only nerfed Charlga. This is kind of scary. They left Bonker almost like it is, and they still have the tier 5 menagerie target Agam. And Agam is still, I think, really, really strong, really nutty. So the fact that they didn't touch that means that Lightfang is still gonna be bad. I'm sorry guys, Lightfang is never gonna see as much play as the previous meta, just because Agam is a thing and Agam is just strictly better if you have quilboar generation. So Charlga is a tier 6, 7/7 that gives blood gems to the entire board. Now it's a 4/4, so less tempo, and it gives blood gems to all other friendly units, so not itself, which is actually a pretty big deal. If you look at Caligos, for example, if you tripled into the 6 drop, everyone died early on, but the stats were double of Caligos almost, and now it's a viable pick because it's a 4/12. That's massive stats. Same with Lilrag, the base stats of that and of Gar. Like the base stats of 6 drop units matter because it allows you to either power level to tier 5, triple, and not take too much damage and stabilize, or the meta changing because if you triple into a 6 drop, you just die because you don't have enough tempo. Also, it doesn't buff itself anymore. Kind of massive, because now you have to have shitty Charglaws on your board to buff the rest of the board. You miss out on +1/+1 as well every turn, and itself is a quilboar, so it also worked with Dynamic Duo. That buff is now gone, that synergy. So there's actually, I think, a really good nerf. I think he's gonna be at 4 still, because I do think quilboar still will have some significance. And I do think this is still a fine card to pick up, and it could also just like explode and outscale, because if you have 2 Charlgas, they still buff each other. But yeah, it's not a 5 anymore, it's just gonna be a 4. And that's it. I quickly want to mention, they didn't fix the visual bugs. We still have like the visual bug with the outline around cards that appears every time that they haven't touched. Like, oh my god, it's been in the game for so long. There's so many other bugs that I've been talking about every single patch review that need to be addressed. Blizzard, god damn it, fix it. Anyway, I'm happy with patch notes though. I'm happy that we got them a bit late. I would have wanted to see these sooner. Also, I would have done some nerfs different. I think I explained most of it. I think quilboars are still gonna be strong, still playable. So what I see in the meta now is dragons will probably be playable again. Quilboars are not going to be as snowbally. You can't really force quilboars anymore and be strong. I used to just hardcore force quilboars literally every single game because it won every lobby. That's not going to be possible anymore, or going to be much harder because the stats, mainly the base stats, are reduced. So you need to either get lucky and hit the good quilboars or slowly set up for it. Menagerie quilboar might be better in that case, because Menagerie is something you always set up for as good previous meta. And the Menagerie quilboars didn't really get nerfed. They're still good. So Menagerie quilboar might now overtake full quilboar as how the tribe functions. We're still gonna be in relatively the same meta where tempo is important, but you will still want to triple into 6 drops or maybe 5s now, with Charlga being nerfed and Menagerie being more important. So that's something that might change. The strong heroes are still going to be strong. They still didn't touch Jandis. Jandis still broken. Hook Tusk, Mayav, Omu. All of those heroes are still batshit insane. So there's a lot of things that I still want to see, that we need to see, but this is a start, and a start is what we will have. Does that sentence? Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe if you want to catch more patch updates, guides, streams. I like making content. And liking the video, of course, takes 1 second and does a miracle for me. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, and now I'm gonna enjoy my pizza.